Good afternoon, traders. This is Cousin Vinny coming to you on February the 20th, Monday, with some thoughts about the week ahead. Just want to say hello, and was happy to meet many of you at the party on Sunday. Really had a good time, and there were some questions about if I would do a video to cover some of the things I mentioned at the party. So that's what I'm going to do today, and we'll start right off with the ES and the chart that I posted on Friday at the close. Okay, what I'm currently looking at is this Fibonacci level, this pivot low here to this pivot high that we put in on Wednesday. Okay, and where these the 127 extension lines up, which is right near the May high at 1373.50. Okay, so I'm keeping an eye on that, as well as this trend line that continues to move higher. Okay, and the 20 period moving average. I'm also watching the relative strength and momentum indicators and the McClellan oscillators. Okay, bullish percents are very high, but I can see us getting up to this test of the May highs at 1073.50. Okay, I also post usually at every close in the evening just to cover the closing numbers, because I like to follow those and use my fibs on a daily basis. Okay, so you can follow me here at StockTwits. Okay, and my handle is Cousin Vinny. And on Twitter, just note that my username is at Cousin Vinny with a Z, because someone already took that that Twitter handle. Okay, now speaking of things that I look at on a daily basis, this is Nordic American Tanker. Kramer was talking about this with the CEO. I believe it was the 15th, because I posted this the next morning at 11:23. And what I saw was this huge volume bar here. Okay, and the vacuum above this level, noted by these decreased volume bars. The lesser volume that was traded on this move down. Okay, I noted that on the 16th, the night of the 15th actually, that we were right at this volume bar. Okay, we had relative strength that was moving higher. We had this 200 EMA that was up above us. Okay, Bollinger Bands were constricting. We had nice volume here. We had the stochastic cross, the MACD about to cross, looked like it wanted to anyway. The ADX came down and touched the negative DX indicator and turned. Okay, CCI was heading higher, and the confirming indicator on balance volume had made a nice spike up. Okay, I was looking for this on balance volume to continue higher. This is important because these being lagging indicators, the ADX being a strength of trend indicator, I was looking for the on balance volume to confirm the move that I was anticipating. Okay, which was a move above this level here at 1483 and 1463, which would be the start of this volume at price. Okay, so if we go to a chart of NAT today, at the close from Friday, we can see that the daily chart on NAT now is breaking above this level. Okay, Bollinger Bands are expanding, okay, to the upside and downside, which is saying this is going to be a fairly significant move. And if we go down to our confirming indicator, which is the on balance volume, we can see where we broke above the level that I showed you on the chart that I posted on the 16th, morning of the 16th. Okay, so for all intents and purposes, we can see that our other indicators are confirming that as well. MACD and stochastics being lagging indicators. the volume has started to peak here, not peak, but to increase as well. So your EMAs, although they've flattened out, they look like they're going to start to move higher. Okay, the 200 period is just above us, so I would tend to think that we're going to come up to the 200 as a magnet inside of this vacuum, okay, and hang around there for a little bit of time, and then continue higher up to the 50 period, which is up above this red line here. Okay. So if we pull up the same chart on free stock charts and analyze it, we can see the same horizontal in that area where we broke out. Stochastics moving higher, and we have that volume that we pointed out. Okay. We're going to move these down for the time being, and we're going to shift time frames. I'm currently in North American or Nordic American. I only have 200 common, but I did buy it when I noticed this volume bar and volume at price. Okay, this vacuum here, and the fact that it was on Kramer. The CEO had good things to say about the shipping industry, where they saw themselves being a year or 2 years from now, and so that's why I looked into this. Okay, so that got me interested in it. So let's look at a 4-hour time frame, and let's zoom out of this a little bit. We can see that we had this trend where we broke out, okay, as well as the other things, coincidentally at the same level that volume and price showed it would. Okay, if we throw some fibs on here, okay, from this low here up to this high, and we zoom out a little bit, we can see the 127 extension is up here at where previous resistance occurred. Okay, support where we lost it. Alright, that should be resistance now. And if we go back out to daily, we can see the volume bars are starting to pick up a little bit, but not that significantly. So this move, which may come back to these EMAs, being we broke above the standard deviation of this Bollinger Band, this upper one, I would expect this to come back down to the shorter term period average and then move higher. Okay, just based on the volume at price and the other indicators that are showing a lot of strength. And once again, taking this pivot high down to this pivot low, we can see that we hit the 127 extension, this line right here, and moved back off of it. So this shorter time frame, this more recent pivot, okay, that occurred in the beginning of February, okay, gives us that extension right there. The 1618 is right back up here at previous highs. So from an intraday and a short swing standpoint, we could see 1550, 16 fairly soon if we do in fact come back and touch these EMAs down here. Okay. Now, Regions Financial was another good one that gave us a volume at price where we broke above, and you can see what happened once we moved up into this level here. This area of less resisting volume to our ascending price helped us a great deal, and you can see that we stayed within the shorter term period averages and the upper Bollinger Band and continue to move higher. I got out of all of my common on Friday, okay, as I posted in the room as well. So Intel was in the news a bit last week. Okay, you can see where we chopped around quite a bit in this area, these large volume bars. As we got above these levels here, between here, okay, and here, you can see the price started to move higher. And then once we broke above this bar here, we can see that price is starting to move again, okay, and should continue to move higher with Bollinger Bands expanding now that we consolidated here. And we should have a stochastic cross, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay, so we're staying up up above the 50 level, but we did cross back up to the pointing higher. Okay, and MACD is starting to, looks like it's going to cross as well. So that would be my confirming indicator there for a move into the overbought territory. Okay, on Intel. Same thing with the carry trade and DBV, which you know I watch. We have this level here where we broke above the end of January, and now we're starting to cruise higher. Okay, and expensive stocks work the same way. You guys know that I traded Hanson, okay, in my IRA, and we had this level here where we broke above, and we had this tapering off of a volume at price. Okay, traders at these levels, and we moved higher. Now we're flagging. Okay, coming back to the 20, I'd expect this to stochastics to turn back up and Hanson to resume its move higher. Okay, oil and gas names as well were in the news last week, and it appears that we had some sector rotation. Okay, with oil prices at highs. I think it was 120 a barrel again. Notice the volume at price. Okay, on CHK. We do have some larger bars here. It's not as clear a case of volume at price, but if we look at COP, I believe, number of people were trading this. Notice the volume at price here. That'll be quite interesting if we get above this level. We tried to peak above it, and we came back, but we're showing support at these EMAs. All right, the EMAs are moving sideways, so there is a bit of sideways action here where we saw this volume, all these volume bars here, okay, on the horizontal axis. BP, same thing, very large bar here, okay. As we're gradually getting smaller bars, noticing the price is starting to move a little bit higher. We are overbought, so keep an eye on the stochastics as well as MACD. Keep an eye on the S&P. Okay, we're at multi-year highs. Okay, this level here, just above these highs in May. Okay, I'm anticipating that we'll build this cup here and move to the sideways and build a handle. Doesn't mean we don't have we have to, but I'm noticing that MACD is pointed up and that the EMAs are all cruising higher as well. So all depends on how this plays out next week with Greek news and so forth. But for the most part, we're looking good for a cup and handle. Of course, from the bear standpoint, this would be a double or triple top. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind as well. Okay, anyway, this is Cousin Vinny. It was really a pleasure meeting all of you guys at the party on Sunday. I hope this helped, and look to do this a few more times in the near future for the newer traders that ask for same. Okay, take care, and we'll see you in the room on Tuesday.